Ken Hodges, who would later become a fairly noted film director in his own right, he shot this picture quite well, I think. Now, directed by Eugène Lourié, a rip-off of his own film, and at his own insistence, according to the screenwriters of this film. Yes, a rip-off of Lourié's previous film, 1953's The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. It could be cynically dismissed as an attempt by Lourié to reap some more financial profit off of a monster flick of the 1950s, although I'd sooner see this more optimistically as a British remake novelty of the classic Cold War American monster flick, the kind of speculative sci-fi warning which inspired Gojira in 54 and which became more famous, far more, as Gojira over the decades rather than a temporary moment in 1950s popular entertainment. Nevertheless, I think what we had in the Behemoth, the sea monster, is an interesting exercise wherein Willis O'Brien, who's famous for the stop motion effects on 1925's The Lost World and of course monumentally 1933's King Kong, the mentor of Ray Harryhausen, who we've discussed many times on FOTD. The thing is though, Willis H. O'Brien had not committed to all that much extensive projects after Son of Kong also in 33, to my knowledge, while he is credited for 1949's Mighty Joe Young, and that's some spectacular animation there, particularly the orphanage rescue toward the climax. I distinctly remember reading, on the internet mind you, I don't think there's that much scrutiny associated with reading something on the internet. It's not all assumed to be speculative conspiracy theory blogs at this point, the internet. A lot of it still is, to be fair. But yeah, point is, there's a claim that Ray Harryhausen actually undertook the animation in Mighty Joe Young, 1949. And so even from that point, Harryhausen had seemingly taken over, even if Willis H. O'Brien was still being credited as animator. However, it is on this production wherein, though Harryhausen, of course, brought to life the Redosaurus in Beast in 20,000 Fathoms, it would be Willis H. O'Brien who brings to life the Behemoth. Though it has possibly maybe 3/4 max the budget of Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, maybe even half of that film's budget, Willis H. O'Brien's skills at composing this creature, maybe it's not quite the Redosaurus, but it's immensely impressive considering its budgetary restrictions, certainly comparatively with Beast in 20,000 Fathoms. And besides, we didn't get enough of these British equivalents of the American sci-fi horror flicks of the 50s. Projected Man came too late in the 60s, and there's also, of course, Ken Hughes's Time Slip, aka Atomic Man from 55, which is quite an interesting picture. And we've also got this one. And assistant directed by Douglas Hickox, who I'd like to talk about more someday. Thanks again, everyone.